Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first whip and chat for Christmas in July. Yay, it's Christmas in July. So I'm all geared up. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to finish this painting. If you know, you know. I am working on Gingerbread Cottage. Okay? Gingerbread Cottage, is that what it's called? Yes. Gingerbread Cottage from a Diamond Art Club. Where's my camera? Here we go. That's what I'm working on. This is the third time I've worked on it, okay? I worked on it last Christmas for Christmas and for DP Christmas Elves. I worked on it. Didn't finish it. Pulled it out again in February for finished object February. And that was right after my surgery. I was useless. I was completely useless. Let's get some drills out here. Look, I pulled out a Christmas tray from Firefly from 2023. I like this tray. It's a nice tray. I just like it, okay? I need a color. Hang on. Let me pick a color. What color do we want to work on? I don't know. I think I want to start with this color right here. I got plastic on this still. Where do I have to move the plastic from? I don't know. We'll figure that out in a second. I think I'm going to pull it down this way. Let me find the drill I'm looking for first. This little, I don't know. I'd call it a Saturn looking thing. That's what I call it. But okay, it's right here. Okay, I gotta figure out how to get my, let's go. Right here. Here we go. We're going to pull back right here. Let's go to this little, there, right there. How's that? Looks like a perfect size to do. Looks like I got 3 of those to do. 3 of those little sections right there. Okay. Yeah, in February, I got hardly any of this done. Hardly any at all. I hope this pen will work. I just wanted a pretty pink pen to work on my little gingerbread cottage with. I pulled it out of my dish out there, my holder, and I don't know if it's going to be sticky glue or good putty, or I know nothing about, nope, it's not working. Okay. We might have to take a second here and like flip our glue dot upside down the other way. Maybe put some new Not Your Mama's Mud in here. Okay, yeah, this is not working. Let's take a moment while I chat. I'm just going to dig my glue dot out. I'm going to flip it around upside down, and then the part that was in the pen is usually much stickier. It works pretty good. Until you drop it. Okay. Till you drop it. Hang on. Let me go get a fresh one. Okay, let's see how it goes now. I put a new glue dot in. Oops, bang the table. And I just reapplied some Not Your Mama's Mud. So let's see if we can get this crack-a-lacking now. Let's see. How's the Not Your Mama's Mud going to work here? Going to work good for me? Yes, it works good. Okay, I think we're on a roll now. Fresh glue dot, you know how that's going to work. That's going to be just fine and dandy. So there we go. Okay, back to the painting. Pulled this out in February and made little to no progress on it because at that point in February, I was not able to do a whole lot of anything craft-wise. Yeah, having had surgery on the 22nd of January, February was pretty much a bust. I realized at that point I couldn't really crochet much at all, and diamond painting was difficult, and I didn't, it was bad. It was bad. So this is the third time we have pulled this out, and we are bound and determined to finish it. If I can't finish this, today is the 7th? Today's the 7th. So we're a week into July, but if I can't finish this in the month of July, then there is definitely something wrong in the land of Denmark. Is that how they say that? I don't know. There's some saying like that. Anyhow, we're going. We are going. You hear us going? You hear us. We are going. And these are all going to be wrong. Got to move them anyhow. didn't line up right in my pen. Don't have the proper groovage happening. Stella lost her groove, man. Just saying. Okay, so enough about this. My plans after finishing this, because we're finishing this, I have some off-canvas projects to work on. I have my little, oh, what were they? Like Christmas in July, little wooden ornament things. I'm going to try to do a couple of those. And if all goes well, I might try to pull out another diamond painting. It's not really a Christmas painting, but just one that I hope I could finish. I think it's, is it an Alangiana? It's hanging in the bedroom. Yeah, it's an Alangiana. Oh my gosh, do you know how long that has been hanging out unfinished? Forever, and there's not that much to go. So I would love to be able to work on that and get some of that finished. I was going through all of the things on the bed and in the bedroom last night because we got home from our vacation, which most of this whip and chat is probably going to be about vacation, so just hold on tight. But I was going through everything trying to find the drills for this. This was hanging in the closet, the painting was. The painting was not hard to find. But finding the drills, even though they're fairly organized, was kind of a challenge because each of them pretty much has a case like this and then something else to hold the extra drills because these don't hold enough with the amount of colors in these paintings. So I found them anyhow. But then there's also cases for about 4 more paintings in there that are all on the bed, cases and whatnot. And I don't know, there's some of them I'm not certain which painting to go to right now. I'd have to like get the boxes out, get the paintings out, and then compare colors and whatnot. But anyhow, that's a project for another day, or when I'm ready to work on another WIP, I'll figure it out. They're all in there, you know, it's not that big a deal. They're all in there. Just have to figure out which goes with which. So anyhow, we're ready to go. We are ready to go. We are rocking and rolling. I took some things with me on our little vacation and I didn't diamond paint one thing. Not one thing. I took 4 little small off canvas projects and didn't touch them. I did crochet. I crocheted quite a bit. I was working on 2 main projects and I made good progress. I really made good progress on both of them, I would say. One more than the other because that became my car crochet, and there was a lot of time to car crochet. We were in the car a lot, you know. For us, it's about 3.5 hours up to the bridge. So 3.5 hours up, 3.5 hours back. Not that I crochet the whole time, but I did crochet a lot. And then other little side trips we took that were in the car for a while. I took my crochet project on too. So I got a lot done. But anyhow, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have posted pictures in the Facebook group for Christmas in July, you guys. I was like, whoa, there's a lot of you. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm going to have to really do something special prize-wise. I got to come up with something. I don't know. Let me think about that. I might do a prize this week. I think I might try to do a weekly prize. I hadn't really gotten prizes organized a whole lot. Life has been crazy, busy, craft shows, this and that. Spring is here, planting season, you know, all of the things. But if this continues to be as popular or get more popular, we're going to have to do some real prize collecting. And maybe I'll find a co-host again. I've had co-hosts in the past, and this year I didn't have one, and going solo on this one. But maybe next year I'll get somebody that wants to, be a part of it. So anyhow, thanks for participating. I'm going to make this worthwhile. I'll just say that. Let's make this worthwhile. I've got paintings downstairs. I might just give you a selection of things. I mean, they might be things that I've unboxed or I've opened. I do have some Francescas which are not opened. Those are, things I still have left when she just generously gave me the rest of her stock. So I don't know. We're going to come up with some things. Let me think about it. After I record the WIP and chat, I'll probably do just a separate giveaway video, post it on Facebook. When I come up with what I think I want to give away, I think I'll show you a couple things, maybe give you a couple choices, and then the winner can just contact me and tell me which thing they liked, which they wanted. Okay? I think that sounds like a fair way to do it. Dale just got back from getting tacos. He did go get tacos with his taco buddy today. So he's back from tacos. Ooh, hang on. I just want to get that one drill right there. Okay. So he's back. Yeah, of course, he's back. I took some time already today to record my Christmas in July video, week 2, which is currently processing over there on my computer, getting ready to upload when it's done processing. And then I recorded a Yarny video, and now I'm doing my WIP and chat. So I've been busy. I have been busy already today. I've not stepped outside yet, but I tell you what, when we left, it was 95. Feels like temperature of 105, 106, 107. It was miserable. We got up to the UP, the Upper Peninsula. For those of you who don't know, UP stands for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And it was in the 70s. It was lovely. It was a beautiful, beautiful weekend weather-wise. It did rain like one night, but that was like we were asleep when it was raining. So we never even encountered the rain. It was lovely. It couldn't have been a better weekend. For those of you who don't know, Josh, my son, went with us, and he's never gone on a vacation with us. He hasn't gone on a vacation with me since he was, I don't know, young, probably high school age. I don't think we ever vacationed after that together, but it was nice. It was just nice to have him along, take him places, show him things up there that we like to do, some things that he's not familiar with, all of that kind of stuff. It was lovely. It was totally, totally lovely. We had a great time. So yeah, the weather was great, perfect. Shannon and Devin took care of our cat, dog, duck situation while we were gone. That let the ducks out, all that kind of stuff. Everybody survived. Everybody was well when we got home. Oh shoot! I have a drill on my pen. It was supposed to go right there. Okay, I found it. I found the spot. So everything went well. We all got along well. We had one little snafu, not a snafu, just a moment of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Where are we going to eat? A little confusion, a little, I don't want to go here. I want to go, that happens. That was when we were on the island. And that just makes things a little more complicated when you're on the island, trying to figure out food and whatnot. Anyhow, okay, let's back up. Back to the beginning of the whole weekend. There's so much I could tell you. I'm just going to hit some highlights, okay? The highlight reel. That's what this is, the highlight reel. So, wait, before I get started, did you know that Diamond Art Club is doing a Christmas in July drop of Christmas paintings. Like, okay, I'm recording on Tuesday. It comes out today, Wednesday. I heard there's 25 paintings all Christmassy. I'm like, really? What's up with that? What's up with that? Why? Just why? That's all I got. Why? Anyhow, okay. So, Josh lives about an hour and 20 minutes from us now. And it made no sense for him to drive all the way here and then us to head north. So this was Dale's idea, Dale's plan. It was a smart plan, good plan, that we would just meet from our prospective homes. We would meet partway up the state in Clare. So we went north to get to Clare, and Josh kind of went west to get to Clare. But that's where we met. And Josh could just leave his car at a park and ride there for the weekend, and we could all just drive together. Worked great. Worked famously. We got there a little bit before he did and did a little potty stop at a McDonald's in Clare. And while we waited for him, we checked out the Amish that were selling things right next to the McDonald's, and they had the coolest stuff there, you guys. They had these baskets. I was so tempted to buy a basket. They had all different sizes and different styles of them. I don't know what they were made out of, but they were pretty cool. I didn't buy one. I bought a $5 little container of peanut butter balls. But I really, really, really liked the baskets, and I didn't get one. They were also selling handmade quilts of all sizes, colors, and whatnot. Dale was kind of eyeing those. Anyhow, then we met Josh over at Ponderosa Steakhouse. Does anybody have or had a Ponderosa Steakhouse nearby them? There used to be several where we live, and there aren't any now. They all closed, but there's this one in Clare. And when I asked Josh what he wanted to do for lunch, and he's like, there's a Ponderosa Steakhouse? I'm like, yeah, that's where I want to go. Okay. So we went and we had the buffet at the Ponderosa Steakhouse. It was all good. I mean, that's the nice thing. Their buffet, you don't have to buy a meal there. You can just get the buffet, and it is plenty of food. They had everything you could probably want there. So, unless you wanted a steak. If you wanted a steak, then you had to order a meal with a steak, and you'd get a potato and all that. But it was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. Then we headed out on our journey. Now, Dale and I, we stop a lot. We old people. And we gotta go to the bathroom a lot. So we make a lot of stops. And Josh was just like, really, again? We're like, yeah, again. He got used to it after a while, though. And then he'd be like, yep, I know. All right. So, yeah. Then at some point on one of those potty stops, Josh, ended up driving. I don't know how that came about, but he ended up driving, and he drove the rest of the way up to the bridge, and he actually drove us over the bridge. So, we were there just about time to go check in at the hotel. So we did. We went to the hotel, we got checked in, we got our room. We had a room with a balcony on the water side, which was nice. So we could sit out on the balcony and we could kind of see the action we were right across from one of the ferry docks to the island. And so you could see the ferries come and go and hear the bustle down there and whatnot. And then see the water. That was nice. We didn't do a whole lot that night. We did go into town. We stayed in St. Ignace, which is on the north side of the bridge. It's a whole different vibe there versus staying like in Mackinac City, which is on the south side of the bridge. We like St. Ignace a lot. So that's where we tend to stay when we go up there. They have a little grocery store. Well, it's not a little grocery store. It's a regular full-size grocery store. It's a family fare. And we went there and we picked up some stuff to just make some sandwiches and went down to a park. There's a nice little park right when you come into St. Ignace on the, what would that be? The south end. A nice little park. So we went there and took the cooler down to this little park and sat there in a pavilion and had sandwiches. Um, Lots of kids were down there playing at the playground, running around, chasing the seagulls, all the fun things like that. We ended up playing with the seagulls because, if you see one seagull, there's like 50 more. If you feed them anything, that one immediately goes from 1 to 50, like boom. And so, that's part of the fun. You're not supposed to probably feed the seagulls, but how can you resist? A Cheeto here or a Cheeto there, or, they say don't give these birds bread. Well, we feed our birds bread all the time. We've never had a problem with feeding our chickens and our ducks bread. Anyhow, they got some bread, okay? They got some bun, they got some bread, they got whatever. No, we had bread. A couple Cheetos here and there. But it's so much fun. And just to watch the personalities of the birds, there was definitely Mr. Cranky Pants. He was loud, he was obnoxious, and he was like, I'm going to chase everybody away, and nobody's getting my bread, and you just all go away. He was funny. And so we like to play little games with him, like, throw a piece of bread one direction, and he would go chase everybody away. And then there'd be one cute little girl sitting there like, I'm still here. Be like, yep, here you go, here you go. It's fun though. Anyhow, that's all we really did the first night we got there. Josh did go in the pool, and Dale and I just hung out in the room. And then we had to decide what we were doing the next day on Saturday. What are we going to do? There's so many options up there of things to do. Like, what do you do? You have to drive a little bit for some things, but it's well worth it. So the first little day trip we took on Saturday was to the Tequamanon Falls. They are beautiful. There is an upper and a lower Tequamanon. The upper Tequamanon is the like the most big, most water flowing, small little Niagara, if you can think of that. They're beautiful. Okay. And we decided we would go there. It's, I don't know, like an hour and a half drive from where we were to get there. Not too bad. So we went, and they had recently, within the last couple of years, I'm not certain when they did it for sure, but to get down to the falls, the viewing deck where you could see the falls close up, pretty close, was like 7,000 stairs. It was like 7,000 stairs. And Dale and I have done it several times. Well, they had changed that, and they had put in a path, like a boardwalk. So this boardwalk, it was like a switchback. You like, walk away, come back, walk along this. So the walking was a lot longer than the steps were, because the steps were just more, and this was like, out back, But it was certainly a whole lot nicer to get down to the viewing platform with the walking path. Let me just say that, okay? They did a really nice job too. It's very nice. You could still see, like, underneath some of the boardwalk part, you could see where there were still stairs in the ground and what. Like, they couldn't get them out necessarily. They're cemented in, big, huge things of cement, so they're kind of still there. But anyhow, they got most of it out, but you could see some of them. Anyhow, it was lovely. Just a lovely little walk down, had fun, checked out the waterfalls, took a lot of pictures, all that kind of stuff. Josh has got a lot of pictures. He's got to send me some of his pictures. I got more video than I have pictures, of course, but he's got like the selfies because, he's 6'2" and his arms are about 5 feet long. So he's a selfie taker, Don't ask me to take a selfie. You'll get like a half a head or something, I'm not good at that. But we stood there for a few minutes, checking all that out. It was so pretty, just a beautiful day. And then we came back up the ramp and got into looking at all of the wood that they used and the little, like the cuts in the wood and the grains of the wood and the knots in the wood, and starting like clouds. When you look at clouds and you see a bear in the clouds, we're doing that with the wood. Oh, look at that. Looks like a dragonfly. Oh, look, that looks like a pigeon. Or just, and yeah, we made it back up and then decided to take the other path that goes downriver a ways and goes to the bottom of the falls. So the first path, you're looking at the falls from the top down. And then this other path, you're down at like waterfall river level after it's come down to the river. We decided to go down there. That was still stairs. 181 to be exact. 181 stairs down. Yep, we did it. We did it. That was, I mean, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while since I've hiked things like that, you know. But we did it. We made it down there. And then just hung out down there for a while. But then we had to go back up. Oh my goodness. Going back up. I was like, okay, this is a workout. I mean, we go to the gym. You know, we go to the gym and we walk on the treadmill, but that is not the same. Not the same. That was a lot of stairs. And it took me a few rests, just a few minutes of rest to get back up. It was a workout. Let me tell you, it was a workout. But we did that. And when we got back, we decided to take a little nature path on the way back to the parking lot. Why? I don't know. It might have been my suggestion. Maybe they suggested it. Josh suggested it. I said, sure, let's go. And we did. And ooh, that was mosquito heaven. We were getting eaten alive. We had no bug spray with us. We didn't notice mosquitoes any of the other places we had been. But oh boy, on that little nature path. Yeah, not a good idea there. All we did was kind of hurry on through just to get out and back to the parking lot. But then they have like a gift shop there. They have like a brewery, a restaurant. So we decided to have lunch there at the restaurant slash brewery. And the boys both wanted fish. Josh ordered a whitefish, like luncheon meal or something. It was like a whole fish. It was breaded and everything, but it was like the whole fish. It was huge. And Dale got like a basket of, I don't know what they call them, whitefish pieces or something. Here I am, the non-fish eating girl, sitting here with two men eating this stinky fish, but they enjoyed it. You know what I got? I had a grilled cheese sandwich. That's what this girl had, grilled cheese. I will say, eating there at the brewery was pricey. It was a bit pricey. They didn't mind. They were fine with it. I was like, okay, I don't need all that. I'm just going to grilled cheese. Anyhow, then we got back from that. And what did we do after that? I don't know. That was the 4th. That was the 4th, I believe. So we decided to go downtown that evening and watch the fireworks. That's the night that we grilled brats out of the back of the truck, just parked on the roadside. And oh man, if it was busy. We did not think there were that many people in St. Ignace until we went downtown on the 4th in the evening and then realized there's a ton of people. It was busy. Other than that, before that and after that, you just didn't see that many people out and about. It didn't look that busy, but ooh, it was busy. So we didn't have chairs or anything with us. And we're trying to just wander around, find some place we could settle after we had our little dinner on the tailgate. Dinner on the tailgate, you know. And we were in front of the museum, and they walked around in front of the museum, and there was a bench right there. All these people are there. Tons of people everywhere. Across the street, on the other side of the road, in this park, everywhere. And nobody's sitting on that bench. And we're like, it's ours now. Okay, we're sitting on the bench. It was perfect. Perfect view of the fireworks out over the water. You could see fireworks from Mackinac City, Mackinac City and Mackinac Island out in the background. It was crazy. There was fireworks everywhere. It was cool though. We were gonna get ice cream, but the ice cream place was closed by the time we got done there. And then we just had to get back to the hotel because there were cars and traffic everywhere. So it took a little bit, but we got back and just kind of chilled out again. It was late at that point, and just chilled out and went to bed. So the next day, okay, what are we gonna do the next day? Well, you know me. I want to go to the island. I want to go to Mackinac Island. I always want to go to Mackinac Island. I was like, the ferry ride's on me. I'll pay for the ferry ride. And let's go. Let's just do it. Okay? So we did. We had our breakfast at the hotel and all that. Got ready to go. And we drove down to the ferry dock. And they're charging you $15 to park. And we were like, no, we'll walk. Because it was literally like, if you're talking city blocks, it might have been like a block and a half or something. It was not that far. Like I said, we could see it from our balcony. We just had to walk down the road a little ways. Not too far at all. So we drove back, parked the truck, and walked to the dock. And then by the time we got to the dock, we missed the boat. It leaves every half an hour, so it's not a big deal, but we missed the first boat that we could have gotten on. So we sat around and we waited for the next one. I have some pictures on the ferry, and I'm looking quite a fright. You got to remember, we're on the top deck, and it is just a blowing. Hair whipping everywhere. But yeah, we didn't have bikes. Normally, when Dale and I will go, we'll take our bikes so you can ride around to places on the island, because there's really only 3 ways you can get around on the island. You can bike. You can take the horse and buggy. They have tours. They have taxis, which are horse and buggy, or you can walk. It's the only ways to get around. So to take a horse-drawn tour was like $80 a person. And we're like, no, don't feel like doing that. So we decided to just walk everywhere. I tried to go up to see the fort, but there was a $15, $17 charge per adult to get into the fort. And again, we're like, no, I don't want to pay that much to go into the fort. Everything, you got to pay to do everything, you can rack up some expenses over there on the island because it's a tourist attraction and they can do what they want, and they do. But we decided to just walk around. When you get off the boat, you exit right into the main part of town, which is just shop after shop after shop. It's like blocks of just shops. All the little trinkety souvenir stuff you can imagine. Restaurants, bars, pubs, fudge shops. I swear every 5th store is a fudge shop. There's like 3 main fudge companies, I guess we'll call them, that make the Mackinac Island fudge. There's like Murdoch's, Reba's, Joann's. Those are the 3 main fudge makers. And I don't know how many stores each of them have on the island, but multiple. Because it's literally like you can't go a block without having 1 or 2 fudge shops in each block. It's so many fudge shops. So we walked down to the fort, which is kind of at the end of the city part where all the shops end. And then when we decided we weren't going to go in, we decided to just take a walk, take a little hike. Well, from where you're at, to get up into the innards of the island is uphill, like straight uphill almost. It is steep. And when we've been there with our bikes, we even walk our bikes up. It's like I'm not even trying to ride my bike up those hills. And no matter which road you take, it's uphill. One moment, please. So all the streets that you would pick to go into the center of the island are all uphill like that. So it doesn't matter which one you take. Although I think the one we came down was a little less steep. Anyhow, yeah. So we decided to just kind of take a hike. We ended up at the back of the fort, so you could see things from the back side. I did not know there was a bunch of Girl Scouts there. Each week they have a Girl Scout troop that comes and stays, and they monitor some of the special buildings. They work at the fort. There's Scout barracks. I never knew that. There's so many things on the island that when you get off that main shopping street, there's so many things to find and look at. You're a little limited if you don't have transportation, like a bike, because you can't walk to all these places. It's too far to walk to all of them. But if you had a bike, you can cruise to several places all in one day, But we decided to walk to Arch Rock. Arch Rock is one of the cool sites that everybody likes to see when they're there. It's a rock and it's an arch, and you walk up to it and you can look out and see. It's got to be Lake Huron over there on that side. Are we in Lake Huron? Yeah, we're in Lake Huron on that side of the bridge. That's a whole nother story. The bridge and the lakes, and there's two lakes, but anyhow, Huron's on one side, Michigan on the other side, but they're really still connected. Anyhow, you get a beautiful view of the lake and all that kind of stuff. So we decided to just walk up there. It said it was a half a mile. I'm like, okay, we can go half a mile, no big deal. Well, there was two different ways you could get. There's the main road, which you got to remember. Now, the main road is well traveled with horse buggies, wagons, the tours, all of that. So you got horses and wagons coming and going on the main road part. There was a nature trail that kind of snaked along beside that. We decided to take the nature trail. Why are we deciding to do all the nature trails? I don't know. I mean, it was a nice little path. It was all graveled and whatnot, easy to walk on. It turned out it was a little bit more walking just because of the way it was winding through the woods and whatnot. But it was a nice little walk. And we got over there and checked out the rock, and I got some video of that and stuff, which I will do a whole separate video of things that I recorded on the island or just the whole trip. That'll be a different video. So watch for that coming up, within the week or so. I don't know when it's going to come out, but yeah. And then we decided on the way back that we would take the main road back. And we really only had one of the carriage tours pass us. So you could hear them coming forever behind you, So we just kind of get out of the road. It's not a very wide road. It's paved. Just kind of move over, let the carriage, the wagon go by, and then you carry on your way. Same thing if you're riding your bike. You can ride your bike that way. You just gotta watch for traffic. Other bikers, the horses, the carriages, and all that stuff. You just gotta watch what you're doing. Then we got back down to the bottom, and we were hungry. Here's the one snafu we had in the whole thing. Because a lot of the places we had eaten already, they're getting a little expensive to eat out. But you have to eat out on the island unless you brought a cooler with you full of food, which you could do. I mean, you could bring a cooler and have it stowed in luggage or something on the ferry, but we just wanted to eat a little less expensive on the island, which is hard to do. But I was like, well, we haven't had pizza. They got a couple places you can just get pizza by the slice or whatnot. So we couldn't find the pizza by the slice place. The grocery store, which is called Dowd's, we'd already been in there before we ate lunch. We ate lunch by the fort. We just bought some little sandwich stuff or whatnot in Dowd's, and that was our lunch. No. Yes. No. No, I'm wrong. Sorry, that was afterwards. But we'd been in Dowd's, bought some drinks or something, and knew they had pizza in there. You could get pizza by the slice. But there was another place that I just thought was just pizza by the slice, like just a little space. You could just go out and get a slice. And I knew I'd seen it walking down the road the first time, but I didn't know where it was. We kept trying to find this little place. Finally, I just asked somebody that works there on the island, and I was like, isn't there a pizza place? And they're like, yeah, it's down by such and such and such. Past the Murdoch's Fudge. Before you get to the park. Okay. So we got there, and oh no, wait. Before we could even find the place, we lost Dale. We lost Dale. Now this place is busy. The main street is always busy. There are just people everywhere, and bikes and horses in the road, and just it's busy. Well, we lost Dale. He was back at like their visitor center or whatnot, a booth, trying to get a map so we could see where things were. And apparently, Josh and we lost him. We kept walking and didn't know where he went. So we get another block down the road, and we got no Dale. I'm like, oh goodness. I'm trying to call him. Couldn't call him. No service. Couldn't text him. No service. So we're like, where'd he go? How'd we lose him? Go back. Josh is like, you stay here. Just stay right here. I'm like, no problem. I'll just park my little butt right here on this bench, and I'll just stay right here. He went back, and guess what? Dale had done that exact same thing back by that like visitor center thing. He'd parked himself on a bench down there. He was just waiting for us. So it's a good thing Josh went back. Josh, with his long legs, he walks fast. Let me tell you what, he walks fast. So it's a good thing he was the runner. He went back and he found Dale. Then we found the pizza place. We went in, and then Josh was like, I don't really want that pizza. It doesn't even look good. I'm like, well, do you want to order a pizza? Because you could order like a whole pizza. He's like, I don't know. I don't even know if I want pizza. Then came the whole thing. What are we going to eat? What are we going to eat? Where do we want to go? Whoa. It had to happen at least once. So, anyhow, I still wanted pizza. Nobody wanted pizza there. Went up walking down the road a little further. I'm like, well, how about if we just go back to the grocery store? There was stuff at the grocery store. Anybody could get whatever they wanted there. And that's kind of what we ended up doing. We each got our own thing. I got a slice of pizza. Dale got, I don't know, some little turkey roll or something. I don't know. Everybody got something different. That's when we ended up at the park, which is in front of the fort, and had lunch. Okay, so everything's cool at that point. A little hairy there for a while, People, Josh was like, no, mind, I don't need anything. I just want to eat. No, come on, find something. Blah, blah, blah. So, anyhow, that's what we did. And it turned out fine. I don't like eating outside a whole lot because my hair blows in my face, and then I end up getting a whole mouthful of hair with my food, and I don't like it. So I'm trying to turn whatever direction I need to turn to keep my hair out of my face. Dale's little sandwich, or whatever he got, came in aluminum foil. He got something, a hot sandwich. And so he's like, I'm going to make you a hair tie. Between him and Josh, they folded this little piece of aluminum foil and tied that thing in my hair to keep my hair up out of my face. I'm like, oh my God, I must look just ridiculous. And Josh was like, well, did it work? I'm like, well, yeah, it worked, but oh my gosh. He's like, I'm going to put this in my pocket. I'm going to hang on to this until if you need it again later. I'm like, oh goodness. Okay. You hang on to it then. You hang on to it. Oh boy. So we had a little interesting incident on the street. There was a cop on a bike. Of course, he's on a bike. I've never seen cops on bikes just patrolling the road. But it was one cop, and he was just patrolling up and down. And he wasn't very nice. I'll just say he wasn't very nice. He was kind of rude. He was like yelling at some lady, like, ma'am, get out of the road. Ma'am, get on the sidewalk. He wasn't nice about it at all. So we saw him at one end of the road, kind of hollering at this woman. Then we're all the way at the other end of the road, and he was like writing a citation or something, it looked like, for one of the carriage drivers. And it's like, what in the world? What's going on? So Josh, he's got this whole thing lately about things he wants to do in life. He loves watching the people that do the First Amendment audit things where they go film in public, and people get mad at them because they're filming in public, even though it's your right to do so. People get mad, and he thinks that's fun, and he wants to do that. So guess what he does? He starts filming this carriage driver. And the carriage driver was funny, and he was cool, and he was like, hey man, what's going on? The guy's like, I don't know, I didn't see him, and I got over, and I don't know. And Josh like, well, you didn't have your blinker on today? And the guy's laughing. The cop never batted an eye. He's just walking around the carriage, getting like, guys, I guess they got some identification number on their carriage, writing it down, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, this girl steps up beside Josh. She's like, would you mind not filming? And he's like, what? I can film? And she goes, well, no, I'm going to film mine. And she's like, well, I'd appreciate it if you just didn't. And he's like, no, I'm going to film. And then, a moment of conflict. And he's, doing his, it's my right to do this, blah, 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 blah. She goes, well, I didn't say that it wasn't. I just asked you if you would not do it. And he's like, oh, well, we got Karen here on the island. And then she just turned around and she left. She was like, okay, and that's not, she left. But it was kind of funny. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that my child would like to do. I don't know why, but he would like to do it. And then after that happened, he had that little encounter and whatnot, and filmed the whole thing. He's like, yeah, I got a little nervous about that. And I'm like, well, if that's something you want to do more of, then you're going to have to get used to not being nervous about it. Oh boy, that was kind of funny though. But then we got on our little boat and we headed back. Seems like we did something else that night. We did. I know what we did. We went to the grocery store and we got chicken and a couple other things to grill out. Because the last place that I kind of wanted to go was down the other side of St. Ignace. You can go down this highway. They call it the Dunes. And it is very sand duny. And it's just, you pull up alongside the highway. Well, we'll call it a highway. It's a 2-lane, 55-mile-an-hour road. So you can just pull off the road and you just walk down to the dunes. You take your lunch, you take your snacks, you can go swim, you can spend the day there. So it's evening time for us. And we had stopped at a little park on the way and made our food, ate our food, grilled our food, getting eaten by mosquitoes there. The mosquitoes there were fierce. They were fierce. They would not leave us alone. worst case of like mosquitoes we had anywhere. So we got done and we ate, and we had bug spray that time. We were sprayed with bug spray and they were still coming at us. They were horrible at that park. Anyhow, after we got done eating, we headed down the road to the dunes and just got out of the truck and walked down to the dunes, walked in the sand. We watched the sunset there. It was lovely. That was our last night there. It was just lovely. Beautiful sunset and walking in the dunes. Beautiful. No mosquitoes. It's just down the road a ways, but no mosquitoes there. It's really weird, but it's a very nice little spot to just end the weekend, you know. And of course, the next day was just get up and get going. And I checked out a spot for possible retreat there. Got a nice location there that will work. We don't know if that's where we're going to go for sure, but we're doing research right now, and that place was quite nice. Will work great for us, and so it's a possibility. I found a spot there, and then we just kind of headed on our way, you know. And then silly me, the closer we got to home, and Josh was driving again for a while. He drove across the bridge both ways. He started out driving and then switched at some point, one of those potty stops, you know. But the closer we got to home, the more emotional I got about the whole thing. Because having spent the weekend with my grown child that I don't get to spend a lot of time with, and certainly not just extended time to do things like this, you know, I just got to missing the fact that, you know, he was going to go home and he was going to be back to an hour and a half away from me again. Not that that's that far. I can see him just in an hour and a half, but it just, I don't know, it got to me, you know, how much I miss spending time with my kids like that. You know, I realize they're grown, they have their own lives, their own responsibilities, but man, it was just like letting him go again, you know? It was hard. Anyhow, he's got all these big dreams about things he wants to do, wants to get some sort of a vehicle that he can transform into like a house, living quarters. You know, like you see people that transform buses and they live in their buses and stuff. He's been looking at box trucks and wanting to fix up the box truck and then just to have a different kind of life rather than the 9 to 5 grind, paying rent, having an apartment, living just day to day, having more adventures, being more nomadic. And, you know, and I get that. I told him, I said, I get it. I said, and a lot of people do it. Most of them do it when they're younger than you are. They kind of do it the other way. They sow their oats when they're younger and do all that at a younger age and then want to settle down more permanently. But, you know, and that just all played into it as well. I'm not against it. I'm certainly not. It's just, I just told him, you know, you're going back home and I've just enjoyed this time so much. And I just kind of feel like you're planning on little bird leaving the nest again, but this time leaving the nest even further, you know? I don't know. Yeah, it got emotional. That's all I can say. I was very quiet with Dale on the rest of the ride home because I just didn't want to talk. I just wanted to cry. Because, you know, I just did. Anyhow, it was a great weekend. Um, and it really made me realize how important family is and time with them. And that even as hard as it is with everybody's lives and responsibilities and commitments, and we really need to treasure every time we're together and make time to be together because time is one thing that is, you know, we don't have enough of, and we have to take advantage of it when we can. So I would love to vacation more with my children. We vacationed with, you know, Dale's son and Dale's daughter um, a few times with her. But I would like to do more of that because it's just, you know, it was wonderful to have that extended time to just be together again. And I enjoyed it. So, anyhow, that was the weekend. It was fun, adventuresome, quiet, peaceful at times. Just, the whole gambit. And I loved every second of it, except for saying goodbye. I mean, goodbye for now, But anyhow, Dale just got home from tacos and he thought I was live. And I'm like, no, I'm just recording a video, recording my WIP and chat. And he goes, oh, well, when do you do your Tuesday thing? And I said, well, that's at night, but I'm not doing it this week because Brandy is at a conference and she gets to, I don't think that's looking right. It's supposed to be a white AB, but for some reason, no, it's a yellow drill. We have a yellowish orange drill in a white AB. So you do not belong. That looked funny when I put it down. So she's at a conference, and tonight is Eddie B night at the conference. He's their entertainment. If you don't know, Eddie B is a teacher, comedian, and I mean, he is funny. I would want to see him too. But then I see that last night she couldn't even go live for her Spangler event because of reception or something. So anyhow, no live. Just recording my WIP and chat, and I'll be done when I'm done talking about Mackinac Island. That's what I told Dale. So anyhow, that's it, folks. That's the whole story. So back to reality. It was nice to come home, see the kitties, see the dog, Then you have to unpack and put everything away and all that stuff. But today's just been kind of like, well, let me get some things done that I need to get done. And hopefully by the time I'm done here, my video should be processed and I can upload it. So I'll be ready to go for today. Anyhow, that's it, folks. That's all I got. Have fun with that Christmas in July drop. Let me know how you do on that. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I had 5 that I voted for that are going to drop for the Christmas in July. 5. I'm not buying all of them, but am I going to buy some? I don't know. We shall see. All right. Well, thanks for listening and hanging out. If you ever want more information on the upper UP of Michigan, let me know. I can fill you in. All right. Talk to everybody later. Have a great day. And I'll see you soon. Bye.